I am looking forward to hearing what's the most wait, what was it? The most overrated form in Dragon Ball. The thumbnail has Super Saiyan 3, and as you see, I just clicked on the video and Super Saiyan 3 is there. I hope that's not the answer. That's not the one that he's about to choose. But by the way, let me give a shout out. Wait. No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Okay. But shout out to, do I have it? All right. Yeah, Carthu's Dojo. Sorry if I said that name wrong. But shout out to him. I love his channel because I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. And so I love when other Dragon Ball channels. But definitely go subscribe to him. I'm going to make sure I like this video. Even if he says something that I don't agree with, but that's what makes it fun. Fun agreements and disagreements is a good time. You know, all of us ain't gonna have the same opinion, but I'm interested in seeing what is he gonna say. In a way, I mean, more than likely he's gonna talk about Super Saiyan 3, and I can understand. Super Saiyan 3 was never written right. Well, I ain't gonna say never, because when he fought Majin Buu and Kid Buu, that was also. But after that, it was never the same. It was never the same. I mean, the Beerus one we can let slide because Beerus was much stronger, but he never got the respect. Super Saiyan 3 never got the respect. And I know the explanation, how much energy it takes and all that stuff, but it could have been written better. You know, I like it when it makes a showing every now and then, like how in the Tournament of Power when he was fighting Kefla and Kale, he transformed to it for a second. But it's like, come on, I want more. It could have been written better. It didn't have to have a flaw of taking so much energy from it. It could have had a better, you know, it could have been written better. That's all I'm going to say. But I'm not going to be surprised they say it. Super Saiyan 3 is one of my favorite transformations. It is. Super Saiyan 4 is the best. But Super Saiyan 3 is up there. So to hear it be called mid, it hurts a little bit, but I understand. But let's see his explanation.
Comment or a death threat yet? Super Saiyan 3 is a bad transformation. Don't leave an angry comment or a death threat yet. Just hear me out. The first thing that I have to make clear is if you think Super Saiyan 3 looks cool, I agree. In the anime, at least. The manga was hit and miss for me.
Yeah, I want to be clear, that's true. The manga was a little weird. The anime was better.
Dragon Ball's manga, and by extension, the manga-accurate portions of Dragon Ball Z. So the non-canon Dragon Ball Z movies, those are fine with me. If anything, Super Saiyan 3 is cooler in the 2 Dragon Ball Z movies it's in than any other time in the series. So if those are your reasons for liking Super Saiyan 3, great. I love that.
I ain't gonna say that. The movies, he obviously looked amazing, but when he fought Majin Buu and when he fought Kid Buu, that was the best to me. That's just my opinion.
For you. But in terms of the story of Dragon Ball, it's a really big miss for me, and I think I can explain why in 3 points. And more importantly, I want to end this with how I think Super Saiyan 3 could have been better used. I don't want this to be all negative. Let's start with character assassination. I think we all know by the time of the Buu Saga, Toriyama was getting tired of Dragon Ball and seemed to start having a more cynical outlook on Goku as a character. This is especially clear as the arc progresses. Goku starts the arc as someone who's willing to sacrifice his one day on Earth in order to protect the planet from an unknown threat. He's constantly trying to make sure that Buu isn't revived, and despite being lighthearted about Babidi's weaker minions, he continues the seriousness through the Majin Vegeta encounter, and even his limited time on the lookout after he wakes up from Vegeta's sucker punch. There, he's even surprisingly strict when he's training Goten and Trunks to fuse. He's not playing around, and the story is doing everything to tell us that he isn't. Then this is all immediately undermined by Goku revealing he has Super Saiyan 3, since the form could have stopped Buu from being revived in the first place. Some people seem to think that Goku using Super Saiyan 3 would have given more energy to Buu's revival, but that's just wrong. Buu doesn't just collect power.
That was the thing. You know, Dragon Ball, as much as I'm a fan of it, one thing that it always do is drag out a story longer than it needs to be. For example, Vegeta could have beaten Semi-Cell. Gohan, when he Super Saiyan 2, could have defeated Cell. Goku could have defeated Buu. There's just so many different situations, I should say, where the story could have been like, oh, that's it. Even one of my favorite battles is what they just showed, Super Saiyan 2 Goku versus Majin Vegeta. That didn't have to be. All he had to do was say, because Vegeta's my favorite character, but we all know that his pride would have been hurt if he saw that Super Saiyan 3 and Vegeta would have given up. He would not have fought. As much as it hurts me to say it, it's a fact. All Goku had to do was say, Vegeta, let me just show you something, and transform. That's all he had to do. And Vegeta would have never. He actually probably would have said, you know how he told Kakarot, you're the best later when he fought Kid Buu? He probably would have said it right then and there after his pride would have got hurt. Probably would have cried because I go to front. I love Vegeta, but he cries the most out of anybody here, which I mean it's understandable. But you know, there's a lot of instances in this story in Dragon Ball where it's like we did not have to get this far. Gohan could have ended Cell. Goku didn't have to die again when he was fighting Cell. You know, yeah. So some of the writing, yeah, is unfair for the heroes because certain people didn't have to die and all that other stuff. But anyway, let's move on.
Power from the air or whatever those people think. He specifically gets energy from fighters that aren't Babidi's minions being damaged. This is why Pui Pui and Yakone getting killed didn't help to revive Buu. The energy only comes from the damage they deal, not the damage they take. That's why Goku says he wants to end the fight with Majin Vegeta quickly at full power.
And I never understood that because it's like, he's like, the more we fight, the more energy we give to Majin Buu. So be smart and transform. And I know it takes some time away. That's the thing. It takes some time away, but he already did it with. He was doing it later anyway against Buu. He could have avoided Buu and given so much energy to Buu if he just transformed. Like, as much as I love that battle, and some friends said it the same way he was explaining how some people told him was. Some people said him transforming would have given Buu energy. That's not true. That's not true. You got to get damaged. Vegeta was not damaging Goku if he would have transformed. To be real, Babidi and Dabura would have been gone. It would have been over. Oh, that's the Buu saga. Goodbye. They would have to write another way for Buu to show up. I don't know how that would happen, but that is something that always, as much as, like I said, I love that battle. I love Vegeta versus Goku. But it is frustrating story-wise. If you just focused on the story, you would be frustrated. You're like, Goku, what the heck you doing? You know, oh, my time on Earth's going to be shortened. You're leaving anyway. You know. Anyway, I can go about that for a while.
Did you catch that? Yeah, read it again real quick. The damage they take. That's why Goku says he wants to end the fight with Majin Vegeta quickly at full power. He's taking the threat of Buu seriously. Oh, did you catch that? Yeah, read it again real quick. Goku's supposedly fighting at full power here. Super Saiyan 3 makes Goku a massive liar in retrospect, and not just one little lie to Vegeta either. He lies to Piccolo about being unable to beat Buu at all, to then simply being unsure if he can beat Buu as a Super Saiyan 3, which is a bit better, though it doesn't solve the Vegeta issue. Goku explains that he didn't use Super Saiyan 3 against Majin Vegeta because of the time limit, but if he was able to bounce Buu around like a paddle ball long enough for Trunks to get the Dragon Radar, I think he had more than enough time to knock out Majin Vegeta.
I mean, yeah, more than enough. And he would fight Vegeta. You telling me Vegeta would have still fought him? As much as no, he would have had a Broly moment. I don't know if the first Broly movie. Remember when Vegeta was not fighting Broly? He was just sitting there. He's the one. He wouldn't be that much like that dramatic, but he wouldn't have fought Goku. And let's just say he did. Goku would have easily knocked him out, and that's it. Yeah, and I believe he could have beaten Buu. I totally believe he could have beat Majin Buu. The way he was tossing him around, you know, he just had to find that one spot to get him to where it completely annihilates him, because we know he regenerates. Yeah.
Goku flat out brags he could have beaten Buu when he first fought him, but chose not to. Not even pretending there was doubt anymore like he did to Piccolo earlier on. It's insane when you compare this arrogant Goku, who's about to not beat Kid Buu, by the way, after the Earth was destroyed and all of the people he loves were killed, to Goku at the beginning of the arc, who's more concerned about the potential of this threat than his one precious day on Earth. I think you could see Toriyama's cynical view of Goku evolving over the course of this story, and ultimately it hurts Goku as a character, and it's all rooted in Super Saiyan 3 existing as a form for Goku. Like, imagine Goku was strong enough to beat Cell in the Cell games and just chose not to. That would suck, and people would cry about it even more than they already do with the Senzu Bean. The reason Goku
which is one of my top hated moments in Dragon Ball. I hate that scene. I hate it. It makes no sense. This man, Cell, this, whatever you call him, is trying to destroy the Earth. He's playing around with the Earth's survival. And your response is, here's a sense of me. That one, to this day, bothers me. That Vegeta let Semi-Cell find 18 and some other ones. But that one, you're already putting your son in harm's way. Then you give Cell a boost, and we know Cell has Saiyan genes in him, so he has that extra boost that Saiyans get after being damaged. That, I don't care if Cell birthed Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Gohan could have learned that some other way. But that, oh man, to this day, maybe I'll make a video of the top 5 most hated moments I've had in Dragon Ball. That one's up there. It's hard for me to watch it sometimes. And you see the Gohan getting beat down. You see Goku. That's my, like, shout out to Piccolo. He's like, what are you doing? And so, to this day, that's one of the things that bother me still.
First is to see if he can beat Cell without having to rely on Gohan. If he could have won, he would have won. And he says as much to Gohan. It's powerful when Goku gives up. It affirms to us that Gohan is the sole chance for Earth to survive, because we already saw how everyone couldn't begin to compare themselves to how strong Goku was. It's not just Goku making a risky choice to gamble on the next generation that seems completely out of character when compared to his actions in the beginning of the arc. Speaking of the Cell Saga, let's go to point number 2, regression. I want you to think back to when Trunks fights Perfect Cell. He uses Super Saiyan Grade 3, sacrificing mobility and speed for power, to the point that in the manga, Trunks never lands a single hit on Cell while he's in this form. It's explicitly to show Trunks' inexperience and naivety, especially since the fight is interlaced with scenes showing what's happening in the time chamber. Goku learns Super Saiyan Grade 2 and Grade 3 extremely quickly, but as fast as he learns them, he sees their obvious weaknesses that limit their overall effectiveness. This is not just about the speed loss from Super Saiyan Grade 3 either. Grade 2 also suffers from consuming too much energy. These forms are just inefficient, gaining power in exchange for a very obvious downside. This is why Super Saiyan 2 is actually really interesting. It's a more powerful Super Saiyan form that seemingly doesn't have these issues. It is truly the form to surpass the Super Saiyan wall,
without losing
an
any
efficient
speed
and powerful evolution of Super Saiyan. So why the fuck is Super Saiyan 3 like this? The Super Saiyan grades exist as a warning. Their purpose is to show that there are wrong ways to go about getting stronger. That's the reason I actually like both of them, even if they're supposedly useless. They further the narrative. They lead to something better. Meanwhile, Super Saiyan 3 is the final Super Saiyan form of the original manga, and it just reintroduces some of these obvious flaws without having a greater purpose. I've said this before, so I won't harp on it too much, but you could just not have Super Saiyan 3 in the Buu saga, and things don't actually change that much. I'm not saying that characters like Buu stay as strong as they are, as this would obviously require a rewrite and not a simple what if, but would it be so bad if Goku stalled Buu in a more creative way? Would Gotenks be less cool if he was just a Super Saiyan 2 instead? Actually, we'll get back to Gotenks in a bit. The form just feels so forced, especially considering how it gets no foreshadowing, and with Goku lying, it actually gets anti-foreshadowing.
I never looked at it that way. That's interesting.
The legend that's repeated over the course
of
I like
his channel. He has me see things
Super
I had
Saiyan
never
2 is
thought
foreshadowed
about.
by both Gohan's hidden potential and the hunt for a form that would surpass the Super Saiyan wall. Super Saiyan 3 gets none of that. It just shows up only to get almost immediately overshadowed, which is actually my next point. While Super Saiyan 3 has a cool introduction, it doesn't really do much. And when I say it doesn't do much, I'm not just talking about winning fights either. It just isn't that present in most of the series, and it's honestly replaced by other new things pretty quickly. The first is fusion. Like I said, Super Saiyan 2 Gotenks would have been fine, and Vegito doesn't even use anything besides regular Super Saiyan, but he's such a beast and a fan favorite anyway.
I love Vegito,
honestly,
bro.
I just think more people like Vegito than Super Saiyan 3. But maybe I'm out of touch. You can let me know in the comments. But let's not forget the other new form of the arc, Ultimate. Now, I'm sure the Dragon Ball movies make you think of Super Saiyan 3 as the better form, but narratively, even if it's a bit redundant, Gohan having untapped hidden power and getting an efficient transformation to access that power with is way better than the problems Super Saiyan 3 causes for Goku's character in this arc. And more importantly,
another hated situation. Like I said, one of the top 5 things I hated in Dragon Ball, it was Gohan. We went through all them episodes of Gohan getting his power from the Kai, doing this, for Gohan to look amazing in 1.5 or 2 episodes, to then get his tail whooped. It was like, what was all that worth for? And I know that's to extend the story, but my goodness, bro. It was like Gohan went through all that, waiting, sitting there to get his untapped power, to get whooped 2 episodes later. And it was like, bro, I know I know there's other twists and turns with it, but just as a viewer, especially as a kid, when I was watching it, I was so frustrated. Because he looked cool, too. Like, Ultimate Gohan, what was that, 2 episodes he was in, where he was dominating, looked amazing. His combat was slick and all that.
Gohan continues to use his ultimate form while Super Saiyan 3 makes seemingly no progress. In Super, we're instantly shown that Super Saiyan 3 is far behind the powers that Goku will face in this story with a flick heard around the world. It was on King Kai's planet though, so I guess it wasn't that hard to hear. The God forms obviously go on to replace Super Saiyan 3 as well, but even worse, in the anime's version of the Tournament of Power, it's heavily implied that Super Saiyan 3 is far less efficient than even Super Saiyan God in Goku's fight with Kale and Caulifla. Honestly, Caulifla, if you're watching this, give up on Super Saiyan 3. There are better forms available. Hell, Goku doesn't even use it when using all of his transformations against Jiren.
And I was hoping he did. I was hoping.
Even just a canon thing either. In GT, we see Super Saiyan 3 twice. Once without a tail and once with. The idea was Goku having a tail would make him strong enough to beat Baby, but nope. He gets Super Saiyan 4 instead.
The best transformation right there. I love Super Saiyan 4.
It's so funny to think
I wish they brought that back.
One chance to get a pretty notable W, beating Boo in Goku's first fight with him, but instead he chooses to let the kids handle it, and even with them using Super Saiyan 3, they don't manage to do it either. Something I think of as Goku's greatest failure, but even ignoring Goten and Trunks being failures, I think they're the best way to use Super Saiyan 3. Like I've been explaining, most of the reasons to dislike Super Saiyan 3 narratively are Goku-centric. But Goten and Trunks don't have that same baggage. Instead of them copying Super Saiyan 3, why not have them discover it? It may sound dumb, but having the inexperienced kids discover a form that increases their power at the cost of efficiency makes way more sense. Gotenks is already a gag-heavy character, so this could be a classic Toriyama gag scene too. And the setup is already baked into the manga. We see that after a week of training in the time chamber, Goten and Trunks are exhausted
like
as they
Vegeta
talk
said,
about
it's a
achieving
Super
level
Saiyan
beyond
bargaining
Super Saiyan.
cell.
Cut the part of them explaining the stamina and fusion time limit issues for now. Then imagine we didn't know about Super Saiyan 3 yet. You'd think they meant Super Saiyan 2. Eventually, they would get betrayed and trapped in the time chamber, only to then reveal their new form, Super Saiyan 3, and its power blows Piccolo away. He really thinks they can beat Buu now. Meanwhile, Goku is watching them from the realm of the Kaioshin with Elder Kai's crystal ball. While Supreme Kai and Kibito are in awe of Gotenks' power, Goku is a bit skeptical. The fight with Super Buu plays out the same, still ending with Gotenks losing the form and defusing early, explaining then that they knew about this weakness and decided to use it anyway. There's no regression, no character assassination, and not nearly as much of an issue with overshadowing since the form is supposed to be bad. It also leaves Gotenks an exclusive form to build off of in the future that would be entirely his own. In the same way, we have exclusive forms for most characters now. So if the Buu Saga really needed Super Saiyan 3, I think it should have been a Gotenks exclusive form. But it wasn't, so it sucks. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet.
I like the way he explained that. I never looked at it that way when it comes to Super Saiyan 3. Like I said, though, it's the reason I love his channel. The way he breaks it down, it makes sense. As much as I'm gonna be real, I love how it looks. But when you really think about it, especially the way he broke that down, it is pretty mid, maybe terrible, you know. Could it have been written better? Sure. We can have a whole different conversation. But considering how it's written, yeah. But I'm not gonna front. I still live those moments of Super Saiyan 3 showing up fighting Buu or fighting Kid Buu. Those are still amazing. And like the movies, like he was talking about. But yeah, I mean, like I said in the beginning of the video, I had a feeling it was gonna happen. You know, being Super Saiyan 3 was the transformation that was mid or terrible. You know, if I remove the fandom of how it looks and look at the meaning of the transformation, what it takes and all the story behind it, yeah, it is pretty bad. It is. Anyway, shout out to him, Carlos. Wait, how you say it? Carthu's Dojo. Shout out to him. Wait, let me. Did I like the video? Oh, I already did. But make sure you go check him out, especially if you're a Dragon Ball fan. I'm a Dragon Ball fan, and I haven't checked out his channel in a minute. I'm gonna see what else he got going on. But thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you later.